not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight.
Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. He should have that power.
He's the Jordan of boxing. Simple as that.
The boxing world is in shock as 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao prepares for a comeback fight. His coach, Justin Fortune, calls him the Jordan of boxing and believes his age won't be an issue. According to Fortune, Pacquiao has stayed in shape over the years and is sure he'll defeat Barrios despite being 46.
His age, yeah, I mean, you know, it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
He lives in jail.
45, 46, but he's not. He's always acting. He's always staying active. He's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport. I mean, cardio. So, no way.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Well, what they, well, yeah, Diaz beat. I mean, different Diaz. You know, I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's training at 46 is powerful and intense. His recent footage shows quick footwork, fast punches, and constant energy. Fans are impressed by his speed and strength at this age. Pacquiao looks sharp and focused as he gets ready for his fight, showing he's still a strong presence in boxing. Oscar de la Hoya has come forward to support Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring. Even in his mid-40s, de la Hoya believes the Filipino legend still has the heart and talent to face younger fighters like Mario Barrios. He respects Pacquiao's amazing career and says a fighter with that much experience should never be overlooked. For de la Hoya, it's not about age, it's about what Pacquiao still has to give.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's he's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it.
Fans and commentators are comparing Pacquiao to George Foreman, who famously won a world title at 46. It's a rare moment in boxing, but not out of reach. Many think if Foreman did it, Pacquiao, with his drive and legendary name, can do the same. The fight now carries a story of challenging age and proving people wrong.
If George Foreman can win a title at 45 years old and Bernard Hopkins can do it at 49 years old, then Manny Pacquiao can win a world title at 46 years old. I see this narrative quite a bit online, and there's a difference between Foreman and Hopkins situations and Pacquiao situation. I mean, Foreman was a heavyweight, and usually guys in the bigger weight classes, they can still compete as they get older, because they rely more on power and size, and less on footwork and speed. Right, Foreman, he knocked out more to win the titles. Now, Hopkins, he did have a pretty impressive skill set at 49 years old to outbox Shumenov, but again, the guy was heavier, 175 pounds, and he had never been stopped in his career, so he had less wear and tear on his body and chin. Whereas someone at the lower weight classes like Pacquiao, he relies more on speed, footwork, and volume, and these sorts of attributes will be worse at 46 years old. Not to mention, he has been stopped a couple times, and he will be the smaller man than Barrios. So the odds are really stacked against him, and I don't completely count him out because he is so great and skilled, so I would give him a small chance. But Pacquiao winning would be more impressive than what Foreman or Hopkins did, because Manny's trying to do it at a smaller weight class.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas looked at Mario Barrios' size and questioned if it really gives him an edge. He pointed out that Barrios moved up in weight and isn't a natural welterweight, which could mean his size advantage isn't as strong as it seems. For Atlas, this balances things out and makes the fight more even than people might think.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
180 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. You know, look what he did to this horse. You know, but look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from like whatever, incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up? Incredible, just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active. You know, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
The boxing world is split on Pacquiao's chances. Some think he still has the skills and mindset to win, while others are careful to say age matters a lot in such a tough sport. Some even compare this to the Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, hinting the event might be more about show than real competition.
Cast or his network, his YouTube show.
1 second. Do you have? So you got Manny winning?
Yes.
You got Manny winning?
No, against Barrios?
Yeah.
No, I think look, every great fighter got one great fight left in him. That had to be Thurman. And Manny, I think Manny seems to want to. Manny appears to be like how Bernard and Roy were. Like he's really one of those great old school fighters where you gotta he's gotta go out on his shield.
Yeah.
Going out on your shield used to not mean just in any given fight. It used to mean that's how they went out, period, fighters. And Manny's like that.
I do not want to see.
It's really hard to see Manny Pacquiao losing to Mario Barrios because of who they are. But who they are now, you know?
Sean, I do not want to see like Manny on the knee, mouthpiece out. That's going to hurt me.
Kevin McBride, Mike Tyson.
That's going to hurt me.
Even though Pacquiao says he stayed active all these years, some in boxing still doubt. They wonder if he's really kept the speed and skill needed to fight at the top level. Skipping real matches and just training might not be enough against a fighter like Barrios. Critics want to see results in the ring, not just workouts.
A bite, a overhand right. Stop it! Welcome to K9 Boxing. And it's yours truly, Cornelius K9 Bundridge, the oldest world champion in junior middleweight history. And Manny Pacquiao is looking to step back in the ring, y'all, against Mario Barrios, July the 19th. If I'm not mistaken, it's July 19th. And I give Manny Pacquiao a good chance at winning. Because, you know, a lot of people say, well, he's been inactive, he's older. Man, but he throw punches. He has a lot of experience. And his last fight was an exhibition, which still was a fight and still kept him sharp, punching, doing something. So it ain't like he just ain't been in the ring, ain't did nothing. Yeah, he been working. It's like them underground boxing matches are real fights. And it keep you off bold. You know, Emmanuel Stewart used to do a lot of exhibitions for his guys, or his guys to get them sharp, to get them prepared for a fight. If they hadn't fought in a minute, just to have them fight sharp. What up, Keith? Yeah, just to have them fight sharp. So if they got in the ring and they hadn't fought in a minute, it won't seem like it. It'd be like, seem like they just recently fought. Yeah, so, you know, it's a lot of stuff you can do to make yourself relevant, sharp, can have you right, ready for a fight. Yeah. My young dogs, Kevin, Kyrie, and Tadell, you know, the Hawk, the dogs, they fought to a draw.
Famous trainer Robert Garcia respects Pacquiao's legacy, but believes age is a big challenge. He warns that even great fighters can be held back by their bodies as they get older. While Garcia doesn't say Pacquiao can't win, he thinks the fight is risky because of Barrios' youth and size. For him, this match is more about danger than glory.
Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, getting another title opportunity, I just the name obviously, but I really believe that Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little. I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for. I'm just 4 years older, 4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were when you were in 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. He should have that power. Barrios is big and a strong boy, so I don't see that happening. But is it possible? Anything's possible. George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. But I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao speed's the name of his game. Do you think he doesn't have that? There's no way he doesn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his last performance.
The exhibition where against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on, at that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years he's been off. That'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but that shit would be nice, man. It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters.
Roy Jones Jr. truly admires Pacquiao, not just for his many wins, but for always going after the toughest challenges. For Jones, Pacquiao's comeback shows true fighting spirit and bravery. He's inspired by how someone so successful still wants one more big moment in the ring.
But how do you feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I love Manny, and I'm glad Manny going in too. Manny's one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in 2 of his first 3 fights, then come back and do all the things that Manny did, that story is also just as awesome as Manny Pacquiao's story. You feel me? I mean, come on. Most guys can't bounce back from a knockout period. He got knocked out early in his career twice and came back and did all this.
Let's show some love to the International Boxing Hall of Fame, who has been highlighting all of these fighters and people in the sport that we love, favorite sport in the world. Over there in Canastota, this year there's gonna be a big weekend of boxing under Salida Promotions, live on the Zone at the Turning Stone Casino. So shout out to everybody that's being inducted this year.
Yes.
Shout out to the Hall of Fame.
Even though there's exciting training footage of Pacquiao online, experienced fans are worried. They say looking good in practice doesn't always mean he'll perform well in a real fight. People wonder if Pacquiao still has the quick reflexes to avoid hits, the toughness to take punches, and the stamina to keep going for many rounds against a strong opponent.
This is a bad idea. Out of nowhere, the WBC decides they want their welterweight champion, Mario Barrios, to defend his belt against Manny Pacquiao. About 7 to 8, maybe 9, 10 years ago, I would have said, hells yeah, if we had a Manny Pacquiao championship fight. But Manny's been retired for 4 years. He's 46 years old. His last fight was in 2021, and he lost to Ugas in a unanimous decision. I watched his exhibition bout against the kickboxer guy in Japan, and again, I think people will look at this and go, well, Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, and yeah, that happened. And I also said that Mike was going to get really badly hurt, and it was a terrible idea for him to do that. There were some health issues and everything else. Luckily, Mike didn't get super hurt in the fight, but this is a world championship level fight against a sitting world champion, and Manny does not belong in there. And again, I'm worried that he's going to get hurt back.
The fight against Barrios is more than just a paycheck for Pacquiao. He's going after the WBC welterweight title, the very belt that made him a worldwide star. It's a full circle moment, a chance to finish his career Where it all began, this makes the fight about legacy, not just winning.
Boxing Doctor News told onto your gloves, boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? You get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Pacquiao's excitement for this fight is obvious. He says fighters should always try to put on a great show no matter who wins for him. The most important thing is giving fans a memorable experience. This attitude adds a special meaning to the fight as he looks to deliver an exciting performance, not just a victory.
So you didn't see Haney. Haney was running for 12 rounds without stopping. I was very impressed. He ran. He didn't throw maybe 100 punches the whole fight. You throw more in shadow boxing in 10 seconds. It was pretty bad.
Rolando Romero beat Ryan. He dropped the
boxing. That's how you entertain the fans. Yeah. Boxing became popular because of the support of the fans, of the people. So make sure that the fans will satisfy in every fight that you have. You give it to them. That's true. That's balance. You cannot pay back of all the sacrifice that you have in the people that are not satisfied.
Some longtime fans are worried about Pacquiao's return at this point. Their concern goes beyond injury to how a loss might impact his legacy. If the fight goes badly, this final chapter could cloud all his earlier success. They hope to keep his memory strong by remembering him at his peak, not watching him face defeat.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Mario Barrios approaches the fight calm and focused while he respects Pacquiao. He's not overwhelmed. He plans to use his youth and reach to keep constant pressure on Pacquiao. For Barrios, this isn't just another fight. It's a chance to show he belongs at the top. He's determined to prove this is his time now.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
You know, it showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed you that, he is a great fighter, but, I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as.
If Pacquiao wins, the doors open wide. Both fighters are fast southpaws with strong fan followings, and a match between them could draw huge crowds and excitement. This fight might be the key to one final big showdown to finish an incredible career.
Gervonta Tank Davis has a 6 to 7 fight deal with the PBC and Amazon for $200 million. That's like $30 million a fight. All right. He also has a fight date for November. El Rayo team has said they're not fighting this year, so he's not the guy. So the question is, who is the guy who is willing to fight Tank by November and could build the fight into a fight worth $30 million? Y'all must be out y'all minds if y'all think that Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a huge fight. That'll probably be his biggest fight ever. Y'all know that's a big fight because the boxing fan today, they know Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. That's who they know.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.